Friday. We're doing a dual stream over on TikTok and on the tube that use. But welcome to What the Fuck Fridays, because this week has just been full of what the fucks with these three in particular and things to do with them. Becky, what's up? Welcome in. And guys, do give it just a minute. We'll get a couple people in here because we just got started. JD90, what's up? What's today's theme? So Fridays are kind of more like fun Fridays. We can talk about politics. We don't have to. I am prepared if we do. But if you guys want to ask me anything personal, political, anything, it's kind of a free-for-all. So if you guys have a theme you want to discuss, please put it in the comments. But until then, hit that like button because we are going to open our first bevy at 1,000 likes. So keep hitting that like. Double D, what's up? Welcome in. How we doing? How we doing? Super Dog, hello, hello. Tony B, what's up? Welcome in. And welcome in over on YouTube as well, guys. I'm Canadian. May I come up? So I'm out of lorazepam. The only thing is, people have been crazy in the comments recently. So to protect the account, it's just kind of comments only. The TikTok comments over on YouTube actually show up, so everyone's all in the loop. But if you want to put your thoughts in the comments, please. Tony Yogi, hello, welcome in. Ryan, what's up over on YouTube? Nice to see you guys today. Happy Friday. No one's hitting that like button. It's not really going up. And we got to get to 1,000 likes before I can crack open the first drink. Sorry about that. I'm out of lorazepam. We just got to be, Ryan, what's up? Welcome in on both platforms. Sorry, sometimes we got to do that just to ensure we get to keep the live. Let's see. It only shows you like half the page. Anyways, how's everybody doing? Put it in the comments. Do you guys want to do more of a personal live, just a fun live? Do we want to do political live? You guys let me know. Borderless Photo, The Logical Dad, what's up, guys? This is for this 40-something life. Hello, welcome in. Sorry that took me a minute. It's been a long day, guys. How is everybody doing? Welcome in if you're new. This is Red, White, and WTF. I'm Dana, and my political views aren't all that political. I simply think that we should be able to do whatever the fuck we want as long as it does not harm or unalive anyone or anything, or impede on or take away the rights of others. I also share the belief that food, housing, education, and healthcare should all be affordable and accessible. Notice I didn't say anything about open borders. I didn't say anything about free for all. I didn't say anything about working 10 hours a week and living with a mansion. I just believe if you work hard, you should live a comfortable life. Can you give a shout out? Canada is not for sale. Canada is not for sale. Shout out to our neighbors to the north, Canada. We do not share the values that this one does right here. We don't consider you a 51st state because we consider you a sovereign country, and hopefully still an ally, if not to the current administration, to the American people. Quiet Storm, what's up? Welcome in. Ariana, I'm actually doing okay. I'm actually doing okay. Leo, what a crazy thing to say in today's society, but you can say it, I guess. But yeah, I'm doing okay. We had a health fair at my job today. It was a rough start to the day, but hey, we're here now. We're all together, and we are almost at 1,000 likes, meaning, which we just got it, we're gonna crack open the bevy. I'm sorry you have a headache, Ariana. I hope that subsides pretty soon. But we did reach 1,000, guys. Thank you so much. We're literally 4 minutes in, already ahead of track, so thank you for that. But we're gonna do a big gulparoo, obviously off camera to abide by guidelines. I do not condone this behavior, and I am of age in my own house, not planning on driving. Um, you look like you're talking to yourself, Leo. Just saying. It doesn't seem like anyone else in the chat agrees. Lala, what's up? Welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Put in the comments what you guys want to talk about. We'll get it going. Don't be shy in the comments, though. Let me check over on YouTube. Ryan, it's just you so far. No worries, no worries. So, let's see. L. Straight L. Miss Thursday, hello, welcome in. Eileen, what's up, Lala? As always, thank you for the likes. And guys, we're already at 2,000. At 5,000, I'll take another big sip, if you will. One good thing, I think, I need to look a little bit more into it, but it seems positive. Feds open criminal probe into whether ICE officers lied about the shooting of a Venezuelan man in Minnesota. Now, this was that incident that took place with the two officers, January 14th. And it's actually the director of ICE saying that two agents lied under oath, and they may and should, if proven guilty, which I think they will be because they said there's video evidence, they may face criminal charges, as they should. Penelope is still on vacation. I got a place in order. I just didn't have time when I got off of work. What do you mean I'm lying? Everything I said it was alleged. This is literally, I can, you want some sources, buddy? You want some sources? Let's see. Let me search it up. I mean, even American Faith is saying ICE officers made untruthful statements about shooting. I'm trying to go right since you seem to lean right. I just gave you a source. And the source comes from a statement, a public statement that you can read from the director of ICE. I think his name's Todd Lyons, is the one that made the statement. Yeah. The New York Post, which leans right. DHS officers on leave face prosecution over false statements after a Minneapolis migrant shooting. Um, let's see, we'll do a center with very high factuality. The Las Vegas Review Journal. ICE officers' testimony about shooting a Venezuelan man probed. Um, the officers who are not named are on administrative leave while the investigation is carried out. I mean, I'm giving you left, right, and center. What's up, Blacktops? Nice to see you. Blacktop, we got a few people in here that fail to even believe sources when they're right-leaning sources. If you didn't know or haven't heard, Todd Lyons of ICE said that the two agents from the January 14th shooting in Minnesota, they have video evidence, allegedly, that they lied under oath. So that's kind of crazy. But because we have to hold duality here, the article right next to it, judge dismisses charges against 3 Connecticut officers accused of mistreating paralyzed prisoner. So, that's duality, I guess. Hopefully accountability will be had. We'll see. We'll see. Guys, we're almost at 3,000. Thank you so much. Yeah, well, I can't say that word, is the only one who knows the truth. You can't fix that level of, you know, truth. Lala, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. And welcome, welcome, welcome. That was the Venezuelan guy, yeah. That was shot because the officers claimed it was self-defense. And it's looking like it wasn't. But that's all alleged. I'm just reading you guys different sources from left, right, center, and international. But what do I know? What do I know? A judge said she'll rule that the U.S. still cannot force states to provide data on SNAP recipients. Yeah, yeah. Because the data they want is, it's not that we shouldn't provide data. It's the type of data they want, which is just violations. Like you can't do that. Can you send a screenshot of the post? I can't because I'm on my phone here and I'm reading from the computer, but let me go back to it. And I'll give you multiple sources. I use Ground News, so I have multiple news articles all at one time. Let's see. The Merco Press, Reforma, the Oregonian, KUTV, the press.net, Common Dreams, Southern Minneapolis, American Faith, Las Vegas Review Journal, New York Post, which is a very right leaning, Toronto Star, so that's obviously international source, CBS News, The Independent, PBS NewsHour, ABC News, USA Today, Buffalo News, BBC News, another international, CNN, and all you have to search is ICE agents lied under oath Jan 14th, and they'll all pop up. Oh, wait. Oh, I mean the DSIG posting from. Oh, I don't. Which DHS IG post are you talking about? I don't really use Instagram, and I definitely don't follow DHS on there. Um, guys, do your thing. Like, you were lying as I'm literally reading off source by source by source. Like, you can fix a lot of things in this world, but you can't fix stupid. About 100 million deportations. Let's see. We'll go look for it for you. We're just getting started in here because, guys, you still got to get 1,000 before I take that next big swig. But to incentivize you, maybe I'll take 2 big swigs if you hurry up with that 5,000. 1231 VHS IG post. 100 mil deportations. Let's see. Go to images. That'll just be quicker. Um, so I don't see that. And Lala, if you can find that, please send that to me because yeah, I cannot find that post. Again, I don't really use IG or anything, especially for this page. Um, but yeah, sorry, I can't find that. I mean, I don't doubt, them claiming that or have said that, but I know now they're offering $3,000 and free flights for migrants who voluntarily leave before 2026. That was at the end of last year. So it went from 1,000 to 2,000 to 3,000. But people have even reported they're not getting this money, which isn't what? It's a pick of bleach. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you, Lala. I really appreciate that. And thank you for sending that. I really do appreciate it. Because, guys, there's so much news that happens. We have to use ourselves as a community to stay in touch with everything because some things you guys might see, I might not, and vice versa. But, guys, we're still not at 5,000, guys. Holy shit. Maybe I should start just engaging with some of these Trumpsters and just rile them up a bit. But once we get to 5,000, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to chug the rest. So hurry up and get this 5,000. There we are. Cheers, everyone. Okay, I'm only gonna do half. Oh, raw cognizance. Hello, hello. Trump rules your sick ass. Really? Really? Do you think he rules my sick ass well? And what makes me sick? Just wondering. Buzzballs is woman owned, Lala. That is a lot of the reason that one, they do they obviously they do the job. Two, they're cheap, and three, yes, they're woman owned. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a woman of color. I could be mistaken with that, but yes, I'm not condoning anyone else participate in these actions, especially if you are not of age, but I am and I'm safe in my own home. But Lala, welcome in. Um, Trump owning anything is laughable. Nobody commits bankruptcy as often. Okay, so you guys, I told you I've been rewatching Fallout, the first season, and they talk about making America great. And when I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's like, uh, I don't know if you've seen American Horror Story Apocalypse when like all the powerful people of the world are sitting together and someone talks about spending money and the response is you literally bankrupt casinos and I was like, "Oh, I wonder who that was directed at." Guess who it is? I guess it's the Wicked Bitch of the West. Hello, hello, and welcome in. I love the name, as always. User, what's up? Welcome into you as well. Guys, it's not a big turnout. So, what we can do, we can stay on one more minute and we can restart, or we can just go through it like this. You guys let me know. But the more you share it out, the more your friends are going to join, and the more it's going to push this live out. So, the quicker we like, the quicker we comment, the quicker we hit that follow button. Please do go through with it. All right, we'll go through with it. No worries, no worries. We can do that. Let's talk about something that I find very very concerning. Which is Diaper Dawn saying that voter ID will be coming whether or not Congress approves it, saying that he will issue an executive order to make it. And correct me if I'm wrong, because he has just ruined all authority of executive orders to me, but they can veto executive orders, right? Because this is all about the Save Act, by the way. Um, and he's saying he's not going to leave it to, our democratic system to decide. Why would you think I'm a man just because you can't see my hair in a clip? That's just really presumptuous. And like what does it matter? My voting place requires you to bring your ID. But it's more than just they're wanting you to provide citizenship, but like your license doesn't do that by itself. Real IDs don't even do that by themselves. So you would need a passport or a birth certificate, and so this impacts a lot of people. And if this is made to go through and they don't offer free options to get your birth certificate or to get a passport, that is a poll tax and in violation of the 24th Amendment. Yeah, absolutely. Trump interfering and the Save Act in general, they're both unconstitutional. Um, so Congress can pass a law that directly overrides or invalidates an executive order if that happens. So I don't want people to panic, but just so we know. And they can veto or override. It says if Congress passes legislation to overturn an order, the president can veto it. Congress must then attach a 2/3 vote in both houses to override, which is going to be hard to get, but it's still possible. All right, Ariana. All right. You're so right about the poll tax. I never even thought of that. Yeah. I mean, that in itself is the definition of a poll tax. You know what I mean? If they're saying you have to buy this document in order to be able to vote, that's a poll tax. You hear about RFK? I did. I make Dr. Fruit Snack, love the name. I actually made a video on it. Of course, they're not pushing it on here because I only got like literally like 50 likes on it or 50 views and 84 on the one before that. But if you guys didn't see RFK Jr., our Secretary of Health and Human Services, said that he doesn't fear germs because he used to go skiing, if you know, you know, off of toilet seats. Let's not forget that he also admitted to doing H to get through college. Let's also not forget that while he was Secretary of Health and Human Services, he and his grandchildren swam in contaminated water that has been outlawed since the 1970s. And also the fact that he says he has a brain worm. So that's who is in charge of our health and safety standards. Isn't that everything you need to know? Isn't that just so lovely? Insane that he's the Secretary of Health. Well, I mean, it's insane that our president is our president, but I digress. And guys, once we get to 10,000, I'm going to chug the rest of it. I'm hoping some Trumpsters will come in here, not necessarily to debate, but we'll just embarrass them like we always do. They get in here and say either we love Trump or MAGA, and it's like a frog riveting. I wish that brain worm would with the fight already. I have never prayed for biology to biology so hard and as quickly as I need it to as I have with this administration. Just saying. Just saying. It's I mean, everyone in office. I mean, yeah, or it's Trump is your daddy, or Trump is daddy. That's what they say. And it's just like, for you guys to not like the LGBTQIA, you call a man who's not your biological father daddy. Right, but Biden, exactly. No, I want to read you guys actually. I don't know if I can. Let me pull up a separate YouTube. I want to read you guys some of the comments on some of my videos. Specifically, the one about RFK Jr. because it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, guys. Give me 1 second. Um, and I'm not making this up. You guys can go over and follow me if you want. It's absolutely free. I don't charge any like membership fees or whatever that other people do. But let's look at the comments. Here's our Welcome to America one. Comments. Here we go. And this is about the situation with RFK Jr. At least he's honest and truthful. First honest politician. Cool. At least he knows firsthand what's good and bad for you. And then someone said, "What's in your closet?" Which is just like, clothes, you freak. But like, what the fuck? And that's the same one when I talked about Ghislaine Maxwell having demands, and people literally say, uh, give me 1 second. There's one that called me, oh, unbelievable that you would call out a woman who's trying to buy her freedom, but men in your country ducking responsibility in plain sight. Corruption abound, but you chose to talk about that parasite Maxwell, which is like, what are you trying to get at? Because ironically, the post before and after that was about men in the files, but you know, I digress with that one. But I thought TikTok was wild. YouTube is fucking crazy. It may sound bad, but I'm counting the days till the celebration. I'll drink to celebrate. Me too, Dr. Fruit Snack. The day it happens, oh, I may not be on here because we're gonna be in the streets. We're gonna be in the streets. Ignore them AIS comments. LOL. It is foreign instigation. Some of it though, I like have checked out their pages and they're legitimate pages. That's what's so fucking scary. Like it's not like AI posts and stuff like that. Like it's them putting their faces. They really believe this. And like I'm so fucking tired of women, especially MAGA women, using their gender for terrible things like Ghislaine Maxwell, who, as we know, exploited her own gender to recruit those young girls. No one special. It is sad. It's fucking crazy. But guys, we did reach 10,000. Thank you guys so much. And you know what that means? But when it finally happens, I will smoke down hard. Absolutely. I mean, after I'm in the streets, we'll probably come here and smoke down as well. Here, what? Welcome in. It's nice to see you. But we did reach 10,000, guys. Thank you guys so, so, so much. 10,000 in 20 minutes isn't bad, by the way. We're going to finish this first one. There's a little bit more, sorry. One down, two to go. Like, I don't want to sound crazy, but I feel like, how should I process what he's doing? I mean, I get it. Okay, Lala says, am I crazy or is Michelle a pretty kick-ass idea? I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just don't think she ever would. She didn't want Barack to run in general. Like, that is one of the most solid marriages, and his time in office, they basically hated each other, and they've both admitted to that. Or Michelle basically admitted to hating Obama while he was in office, and he was there for 8 years. Like, that's almost a decade of their lives. Just it is a decade of their lives with campaigning and whatnot. Um, I don't think she'll take the seat, because the thing is, if yeah, she told us to take the high road, but I think now she's down to take the low road. She knows as a president, you shouldn't do that. Um, but I think we could still have I think she could still have a lot of impact on our government. You know what I mean? If she was ever like an appointed position, maybe she would take that. Poe, thank you so much for the follow. I really do appreciate it. And guys, we are finally at 30.6 thousand. So we're inching to 31,000. Hopefully we can, it's probably not going to happen, but maybe 35,000 by the year mark on March 10th, which is also my birthday. So we'll be celebrating a little bit. Once we get to 15,000, I will crack open the next one. But until then, um, apparently, speaking of Ghislaine Maxwell, ugh, the fact that she still thinks she has demands is fucking crazy. But Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly lied on her citizenship paperwork, saying she had never been convicted of the crime, um, or had never committed a crime. Um, and this was in early 2000s, and she was found guilty of things in late 90s, I think 98. So I want, like, people are saying, oh, is Trump going to denaturalize her? I think if he does, what I would love to happen is her to get sent to CCOT. But that won't happen. No, she'll just escape to another country that won't hold her accountable. So no, she doesn't need to be denaturalized. She needs to be punished right here in the American prison system. And if people up high think that's too much of a cost for all the terrible shit she's done, then that proves that what the prison system is, the for-profit prison system, is slave labor. Boom. And she's in a fucking cushy prison. She's not in a max fucking detention center like she should be. No. She's in if anyone knows the name of the prison, I forget the fucking nickname of it, but it's basically where like high profile criminals that like do like money crimes basically go. Like she gets to have a dog and stuff. Club Fed, yeah, that's what they call it. She's in Club Fed after all the shit she's done. And now she's making demands saying even though she was subpoenaed, she held to that plan and that claim that she wasn't going to speak until she was released from prison. What? What? You really think? I mean, if Diaper Dawn does release her, that's the ultimate admission of guilt, plain and simple. Even more than him not suing the people for defamation, because if he hadn't done the crime, he would be suing the shit out of people for defamation, because he sues the shit out of everybody for everything. But yet we've seen not one. Not one. I think that's pretty fucking telling. And guys, we're already almost at 15,000. That's absolutely incredible. If you guys want to talk about anything specific, Jolena, hello, welcome in. If you guys want to talk about anything specific, put it in the comments. We'll get it going. We're going to stay on about an hour, so we'll stay on until about 6:30. So we got about 35 more minutes left. We can still do a lot of damage in the best way. Good trouble. He all of a sudden feels bad for the Clintons. Well, I mean, let's not forget that first of all, his dance, his little, I'm not even going to intimidate it because imitate it. Fuck. These buzzballs got me. I'm not even going to imitate it because I'm not going to have that on the internet, but it looks like he's pleasuring two things at once. And that's not even talking about his BJ to the microphone. That's not even talking about him gyrating on the American flag. But he gave Bubba head. And Bubba is either Ghislaine Maxwell's horse or Bill Clinton, or in my thesis, which is, you know, all alleged, both. Just saying. Happy Friday the 13th as well. I also think it was funny at the National Prayer Breakfast. I think it was this week. I think it was Monday. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been last week. All of the shit kind of blends together. But he literally said that he had never read the Bible, and he has an autographed Bible that he sells, that he has had instated in schools. Jim, thank you so much for the follow, and welcome in to Red, White, and WTF. And if you guys don't know, if you've never been here, this is Red, White, WTF. My name's Dana. This isn't a left versus a right channel. Yes, I do primarily vote left because it aligns more with me, but right now we need to focus on the real problem, and it's the power versus the people. There are corrupt politicians on both sides, and neither side properly represents the people. My political beliefs really aren't all that political. I just think anyone should be able to do whatever the fuck they want, as long as it does not harm or unalive anyone or anything or impede on the rights of others. I also have the belief that food, housing, healthcare, and education should be affordable and accessible. While I don't believe in open borders, I do believe in duality, and I don't want an open border, but I do want a major reform in the immigration system. I think immigrants we could use to solve our birthing crisis that the whole world is experiencing right now. But America has a unique advantage if we would use it. And instead of, trying to dehumanize immigrants, they're automatically in our workforce, but they're trying to push these fucking marriage camps. It's crazy. But guys, we are at 15K. Ariana, thank you for reminding me. And I'm going to stop yapping for a second because we're going to have some chocolate milk. Whoo! How about Trump removing historical signs from national parks? Lala, I saw that. I will say, I don't know. I haven't read that much into it because I was literally livid when I saw that he removed the national flag from Stonewall Monument. The LGBTQIA, the pride flag, from the Stonewall Monument. It has been replaced. I don't know if that's just like citizen action or community action, or if that's like something legal took place, because when I saw that article, it was already a shitty day and I didn't read into it. But yeah, no. He's doing that. He's altering, what is in the Smithsonian. He's shutting down the Kennedy Center for 2 years. It is the classic playbook of authoritarianism and tyranny. And I know that because we read sometimes, every now and then. And there's this book. It's in my showcase. You can find cheaper options, which I encourage you to do. I just wanted you guys to be able to see a link to it. But it's called On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, over here for YouTube as well. And what Timothy Snyder did, he wrote this during Trump's first term, and it kind of outlines what to do when you're facing a tyrannical takeover. Um, and this is from the 2016 presidency. And now we're in 2026. And when he does these things, not only is he whitewashing history, he's also bringing in even more anti-intellectualism. And anti-intellectualism always goes hand in hand with fascism. Plain and fucking simple. We saw it in Chile in the 70s with Pinochet. We obviously saw it in Germany. We've seen it time and time again. And now it's happening right here. And speaking of that, which scares the shit out of me, ICE, after an internal memo was leaked, ICE is planning to spend $38 billion with a B billion dollars to build out a network of warehouses to house undocumented people. Now, the government in this leaked internal memo calls it the Detention Reengineering Initiative. That screams scary to me, and it includes mega centers and also small processing sites. When else have we heard mega centers? Well, in the 30s and 40s, and also regarding CCOT, which we all know. We know what CCOT is. They're fucking concentration camps. And if they're not going to give me fucking viewers on here, I'm just going to say it. Dementia Dawn. Is it the one, the only, the man, Dementia Dawn? Democrats own anti-intellectualism. Well, it's funny you say that because I do think Democrats have a part in this, but I think it's a government-wide issue because tyrannical governments, the whole government facilitates anti-intellectualism. So you're half right. I'm not saying this is just the Republicans' fault. No, Democrats are to blame too. That's why we have to get rid of these fucking super PACs. That's why we have to get rid of funded lobbying. Because yes, keep lobbying. It's part of our First Amendment. We got to take the money out of it. We need to put, No more businesses should be able during election periods should be able to sponsor or endorse candidates. It should be personal donations only, and they should be capped. It should be all grassroots. That's the only way our politicians aren't bought and paid for. But they've already purchased a bunch of them. No, they're purchasing more though. So the first ones they purchased was part of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Now they're planning to purchase even more. They're running into problems, and I think it's New Hampshire. Um, so definitely look into that. But that's how all of this information is coming out. Um, Trump administration urges nations to call for the withdrawal of a UN climate proposal. If Fallout's teaching me anything, it's that those in power want the world to fucking burn, and they want to try to outlive us so they can just take over. Plain and fucking simple. Um, but I mean, unlike Germany in the 40s and or 30s and 40s, looks like we're going to have the camps right here in our home country. We already have them. Let's not forget about Alligator Auschwitz. They literally fucking sold merch. They literally teased having live cameras so people could watch people trying to escape and be eaten by the wildlife there for entertainment. That's fucking crazy. What type of dystopian hell are we in? And every day since he has taken office again, I am convinced of the conspiracy theory that COVID took us all out and we are in hell. I don't know what I did in a past life to experience this shit, but I must have been a fucking jackass. Plain and fucking simple. That's the only way this shit makes sense. Because how in the fuck, and Barry, welcome in. Pack 'em up, son. Hello. How we doing, guys? How we doing? I didn't miss 15K, but I'm a little thirsty. So we'll take a sip now, and at 20K, we'll do a couple big goals. But I do want to thank you guys for hanging around, for holding this conversation down. I do appreciate that. And for just bearing with me through this last week, which, if you didn't know, when you say bear with me, it's BEAR, not BARE. Which still haunts me to this day. Let's see. Investigators recovered DNA from Nancy Guthrie's property that does not belong to anyone close to her. Here's my thing with that. I don't know if it's an inside job. I don't know if it's a government. I don't know if it's intimidation from a tyrannical government. What I do know is if they find her alive, it's because it was someone close to the family because she can't live without her medication. If they don't, then they should know it's not someone close to her family because they wouldn't be able to. Or, I mean, not best case scenario, or it was already pre-planned and they had the medication to keep her alive to try to blame other people. But it's definitely something to pay attention to. She is the mother of what's her name? Of a journalist, basically, who's been investigating the Epstein trials. It's not, hold on, Savannah. It is Savannah Guthrie. So we'll see. But again, that would require our DOJ to have critical thinking skills, which we've seen. Not only do they not have critical thinking skills, they have no souls. The way they've treated an NBC journalist, thank you, Dementia Dawn. The way they've treated the mishandling of the release of the Epstein files is fucking atrocious. And Pam Bondi's performance this week was not only enraging, was not only unprofessional, it was the most apathetic example of a person I've ever seen in my life. No government cares about Nancy Guthrie. Well, Hawk, it's not about Nancy Guthrie. It's about the fact that her daughter is a journalist who is investigating the files. That is where people are kind of at right now. And it could have no correlation at all. I mean, I didn't know who Savannah Guthrie was before this at all. But what I am saying is that it is a curious thing. C Ray, what's up? Welcome in. And guys, we are almost at 20K, which means we're gonna take another sip of the bevy soon. But until then, put what you guys want to talk about in the comments. We'll get it going. Let me check over on YouTube. Ryan, it's still just you and I over on YouTube, so all good. But if you guys don't follow me on YouTube, please do. It's absolutely free. And if you ever miss these lives and you want to see me absolutely drag Trump supporters or see what we talked about in the day, see me explain anything, it's always saved on YouTube. So go follow me over there. And if I ever lose this page on this app for whatever strange reason, you can find me over there. But we only have about 293 subscribers, almost 300. We've got 30,000.6 on here, so it is a slow start, but still. Savannah is a lightweight. I don't think it matters, Hawk. I don't. Is this a Trump support? Like, I'm confused by this argument. You are taking this to heart. It's almost like you're admitting guilt. So I would kind of back off, bud. Dementia Dawn. It's unfortunate that the current FBI is involved in the FBI, in the investigation. The current FBI, the current fucking DOJ. I mean, let's not forget that Pam Bondi was the same Pam Bondi, that literally couldn't even get a conviction on Casey Anthony, and that helped secure the sweetheart deal for Island Boy, which I believe makes her absolutely disqualified in touching this particular case at all. They're all corrupt right now. Yeah, they really are. I mean, and the people being silent about this, and I mean that about creators on here as well. I think when you have a platform, no matter how big or how small, and things like the EP files that affect so many people, and you just stay silent so you can secure your little brand deals, history's not going to be kind to you the same way it's not going to be kind to this administration. With that, we hit 20,000. Thank you, Ariana. Cheers, everyone. Woo! It's not my Choco Chiller. It's the hazelnut latte, and it's just not hitting today. But that's all right. B Money, what's good? What's good? I can't remember if I told you what's up, but hello. It's nice to see you in here. Let's go over to ground news, or have I? No, I've went over all of my notes, so let's see what else is going on. U.S. military launches deadly strike on you know what African vessel in the Caribbean, leaving 3 unalive. Again. Oh my goodness, this is fucking crazy. Oh, Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy waves off Trump's backing of GOP rival in re-election bid. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Trump backing any politician right now is probably going to ruin that politician's chances of winning, because we have people like fucking Kyle Rittenhouse and Nick Fuentes saying we should be investigating Trump and that Pam Bondi should immediately fucking resign. What? But what's so crazy about Nick Fuentes, and I think he's just a fucking grifter to the ultimate supreme, he's just like a young Trump, because he literally, and said he put it out for Epstein's birthday, made like, Epstein used to wear this like blue quarter zip with his initials and an American flag on, I think it was the left sleeve. And he made one, and instead of Jeffrey Epstein's initials, it's USA, but he put it out for Jeffrey Epstein's birthday. And he said that on his little podcast, and is now saying anyone that is implicated in those files should be investigated. And he named Trump. He named Steve Bannon. He named all of these people and said, hey, if they're, he was actually reasonable for once, which was fucking crazy. Kenny, what's up? Welcome in. And he literally said that if they are implicated and they're not found guilty, good. Like, but they should be investigated if they're in the files. And if they're not guilty, great. And if they are, they should be punished. And that's crazy. Kyle Rittenhouse spoke out against the execution of Alex Preddy, which is the ultimate irony. Like, we're finding ourselves, you know, in bed, like, just in company with strange bedfellows right now. And that doesn't mean that I support Kyle Rittenhouse or Nick Fuentes, because I don't. But I do agree on what they're saying. Whether they believe it or not is, who's to say? But at least they're fucking using their platform to say it, which is more than some left creators are doing. Because they want to keep their precious little brand deals. Like, bruh, I hope history is almost as hard to you as those that are the perpetrators. I really do. Because silence is no longer an option. We don't have to agree on every single thing politically, but what we should agree on are things that are good versus evil, moral versus corrupt. That's the way America is meant to be, diverse. Hi Daniel, how are you? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Allegations of unaliving in the files. No statute of limitations on that needs to be investigated. Yeah, and a lot of the unaliving closet sexual. Well, thank you for the follow. Love the name. No, I agree. They also said that I think it's called Vermax or Veermax, which is like the stuff that covers babies fresh out of the womb that they have to like wipe off. They said it fucking tasted like cream cheese. How the fuck would they know that? Oh wait, because in the files it says they are guilty of satanic, ritualistic cannibalism. That's fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. They are literally eating that. And obviously, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to dilute the severity of it. We try to abide by guidelines. I mean, they're not pushing us out anyways. Normally, Fridays are popping. This isn't really, but that's okay. Totally fine. But guys, we got about 19 minutes left on here. I still think with 13 of us in here, we could technically easily get 40,000. But up to you guys. We need to be digging up his golf course. Yes, we also need to dig up the cemeteries he fucking owns. He owns cemeteries. Good night, Ariana. I hope you have a lovely night. It was great to see you. I'm gonna try to get on tomorrow, probably around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Mountain. And then Sunday, I'm not going live. I'm doing a Sunday fun day with my friends because we do have Monday off. So we're gonna enjoy ourselves because we need some relief. But yeah, we need to dig up his golf course. We need to dig up a lot of people. Stuntman says, fuck Pam Bondi. And with my whole chest, I say, fuck Pam Bondi. Talk about fucking apathetic. Talk about a piece of fucking shit. You know what I mean? At least use the ground penetrating radar. Ooh. Have you guys seen that report put out? Let me see if I can find it. That Israel has been using basically like vaporizers in Gaza. And I don't know if this is true. But like what the fuck? It said people were just like disappearing and then there was a blood spray or a red fluid spray. We're talking about medical things, TikTok. Nothing about violence. Yeah, it says Times of India, also Middle East Eye, Common Dreams, factuality.co. A lot of international sources are saying, like Al Jazeera, who is very, very factual, claims that Izzy vaporized Palestinians. And Times of India corroborates with that. 2,842 Gazans vaporized by thermobaric bombs. What the fuck? But also, we're at now 27,000. Here we go. Vinny, yeah, no. So here's the thing. When I first started this channel, I'm trying. Vinny, they're not letting me approve it. Hold on. I'm going to give it a second. Sometimes it takes a second. Let's see. It's still not popping up. Mods, if you can get Vinny's comment up, it says EP and Izzy have a strong connection. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, they do. People spectate that he and Ghislaine Maxwell are both agents from Mossad. Which would make sense. I mean, if you host an island that's full of crime and you're incriminating very powerful people, and we already know about Robert Maxwell and his connections to Mossad and his burial in Israel and how, he even infiltrated the school systems. And his daughter literally carried on the family business. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. But the fact that Izzy could be vaporizing people, fuck, man. Fuck. But we're gonna do a sip, and then when we get to 30,000, I'm gonna finish. Because why not? We'll have a little less than 15 minutes left. Ian Carroll has a great podcast with the way forward about an E. All right, Vinny, thank you so much for putting that. Let me write that down. Hold on. Ian Carroll, because I'm always down to learn the way forward. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And I actually do write these things down, guys. I'm not just fucking with you. Because I think we need to share information as much as we can. I don't see everything, you guys don't see everything, but if we're seeing different things, we should share it. I regret voting for Kamala too, sis. Here's the thing. I don't regret voting for Kamala. I regret the way her campaign went and how there was no primaries. It rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I regret her saying she didn't have any things she would fix from her and Biden's term and hanging around with Liz Cheney. I still do think she was the better candidate than Donald Trump all day. Um, Will I vote for her with Gavin Newsom on a primary ticket? No. Will I vote for them if they make it past the primaries and the only choice is that or Vance? Yes. Yeah, and here's the thing, Demetri Dawn. I get why she didn't do a primary. She didn't. If she would have done that, she would have run as a separate candidate and she would have lost all of that money. But because she didn't do that, even though she asked if people wanted to and no one challenged her, I think it still should have happened, but she would have lost that campaign money. She only had 107 days, which was already fighting an uphill battle. But I think appealing too much to moderates failed her because guess what? What we considered moderate 10 years ago is the new radical fucking left. I think she made a lot of mistakes. I even think, I live in California. I don't think she was the perfect DA when she was DA. I don't think she did a lot of things correctly, but she is human. And I don't think we'll ever have a perfect candidate. But what I did appreciate about Kamala is the fact that when she did make mistakes, she would own it. She would have accountability, and I respected that. Did I think she was the best candidate we could have had? No. Do I think she was the best candidate on the ticket? Absolutely. That was also bad. 107 days. Yeah. Biden should have stepped down before. He cost her that campaign. He did. Um, and I do blame Biden for that because I think he still wanted to run. I mean, it was obvious he still wanted to run. And I would say this about men and women. It doesn't matter color, it doesn't matter political affiliation. Like, I think if there's a minimum age to run, there should be a maximum age to serve. Right now, we have the oldest living president in history. But guess what? It's not Joe Biden. It's not fucking Joe Biden. It's Donald Trump. He's the fucking oldest president in our fucking American history, and he shits himself on live TV. Embarrassing. But we are already at 30,000. Thank you so much. I appreciate how Biden destroyed the Democratic Party and Obama's legacy. Shit. They said Bernie was too old. I love Bernie. We, the American people, myself included, because back in 2016, I was in the military. I was still willfully ignorant, and I never voted for Trump. I can proudly say that. But I didn't vote in primaries. In fact, well, I mean, there weren't primaries with Kamala, but like, I've never voted in a primary election. I haven't. I'll be so honest. And I did vote for Hillary in that election, but I should have voted in primaries and I should have voted for Bernie. Plain and simple. We, the American people, failed him. And hopefully, he's doing what he can with his time left here to coach up the next generation of Bernies. And it looks like we're getting quite a few. One being Zoran Mamdani, another AOC. Jasmine Crockett isn't technically like Bernie Sanders level, but she's closer. Um, but I will say, someone who is not like Bernie Sanders at all is fucking Gavin Newsom. And if he is on a primary ticket, and I say this as he is my governor, I'm not fucking voting for him. He's just Trump with a fucking higher IQ. He's still an egomaniac. AOC is a badass and Crockett's a badass. I think they're badass, but only one aligns closely with Bernie Sanders. Vinny says ACA destroyed healthcare. That's why I didn't vote for him a second term. Wait, vote for who a second term? AOC is a plant. Why do you, with your 38 followers, why do you think that? Like, and I'm not trying to, demean you or anything like that. I'm actually asking. It's not letting me approve it. Oh, Obama. Well, here's the thing, like, one, at least he had a fucking plan, right? At least he had a plan. It may not have been a good plan. It may have appealed to billionaires and pro pharma, but it's more than we're fucking getting now. We're hearing about Trump RX, and it just sounds to me like a fuck ton of insider trading. And Vinny, guys, it's not letting me. I'm really trying to approve that Ren's Matt, you said AOC's a plant. I'm trying to approve these things. It's not letting me. Mods, if you guys can, please do. But we're almost at 35, and at 35, With only 10 minutes left, I am going to chug the second one, and we still have a third. So looks like I may go out tonight, even though I shouldn't. But we'll see. But if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, please do. Because the shit that's going on right now, and people literally, and like I read you guys the YouTube comments. I'm still not over my YouTube comments. Rinsmat said Obama BOMB'd foreign countries, and actually, well, I do agree with that. And his what happened with the drones, I do not condone. I was literally in high school when this happened. I'm only 32 now. Only 30. I'm 32 now, but I was in high school when this happened. And I didn't learn about it till later because I come from a very politically uneducated town in central Alabama. And I didn't really look into politics, so I'm like having to fucking relearn all this shit. I don't condone that. That doesn't mean I think he's the worst president of all time. What's happening with, you know, all of the vessels in the Caribbean right now? Hello, Commander in Chief. That's who's in charge of the military. Just saying. Thor, hello. It's good to see you. So TikTok blocks words so only you can see. Yeah. So me and my mods. Oh, okay. It's popping up now. And sometimes it takes a couple minutes. Now they use AI that monitors the chat, and it's not a perfect system. I get flagged for a lot of things. I literally was actually harassed. I had to say it that way, so in a comment, and when I said that that person's hat was stupid, yeah, I was in trouble for apparent bullying. I miss you too, Thor. I'm sorry. We've been trying. In the Nordic countries, racism and discrimination is illegal, and I think it should be here. I'm not your energy. They're different faces of the same coin. Here's the thing. Do I think Obama and Trump are on the same level of corrupt? I don't. I don't. Do I think Obama didn't do things that were wrong? I'm not saying that either. He made mistakes. He's a human. He's not perfect, and I don't condone a lot of the things he did. But if we keep making ourselves look for the perfect fucking politician, I'm sorry guys, we're gonna keep fucking losing. We're gonna keep fucking losing. Because we literally have a whole administration listed, like 90% of the administration listed in the fucking files, and they still have supporters. That's crazy. Obama was at least respectful even to his opposition. And you know what? John McCain was also respectful to Obama. I think it was just a different level of politics now, and our country has just degraded its standards so much that it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Judge gives U.S. 2 weeks to retrieve student deported to Honduras while traveling for Thanksgiving. Why even fucking 2 weeks? To retrieve? If you know where they're at, you should fucking get them right now. That's just my opinion. Oh my God. Oh. Klamath Falls City Schools addresses photo companies' alleged connection to Epstein files. So if you guys didn't know, a lot of companies are being implicated in the files right now, including those that are like Life Touch. You know how we always had the school pictures and stuff? They are in the fucking Epstein files, that company. Yeah. Those really big companies where even if you missed school picture day, you had to be there, and it wasn't just, oh, so and so wasn't pictured. They're in the files. Um I'm sure people from CPS are implicated in the files. I'm sure teachers, nurses implicated in the files. And a lot of people are saying, "Hey, why are we only focusing on the big people? We need to go after the little people too." Well, guess what? Sorry, guys, we just hit an hour, so I've got to do the little puzzle. Well, guess what? If you get these big people in a bind, they're going to sell out everyone under them. It's not the little people who are going to sell out the people above them. They're intimidated by fear. It's those that finally go down that should have been held accountable, who are the most complicit in the files. Those are the ones that will squeal like fucking pigs. You have to go after them first. And guys, we're at 38,000, so I'm just going to finish this one. Why not? AZ girl, what's up? Welcome in. Renz, you got to be careful with what you're saying. It's going to mute it every time you're like saying political names, things like that. Sometimes you just got to get creative with it. But you said Obama supports Zionism. If we now value respect over unaliving innocence, why do we have moral? Are you saying why do we have moral superiority? Um, I wouldn't say that Obama supports Zionism, and I think it's very important to know that anti-Zionism is not synonymous with anti-Semitic or anti-Semitism. Um, for example, I am against what the Israeli government is doing, especially if they're fucking vaporizing Palestinians. Let's not forget that if you do believe in Jesus Christ, he was a Palestinian refugee. They are vaporizing them right now. And I don't agree with the Israeli government because they're a Zionist government. My best friend is a Jewish person. I'm not anti Semitic. It's not about the religion or how you worship or what your ethnicity is. Zionism is an ideology. That is what people detest, and they try to call it anti Semitism. It's not moral superiority, not at all. And I don't think, I mean, if you can show me things where Obama has been, in support of Zionism, I'm not going to agree with that because I don't. But, like, what the fuck? We know Trump is in, you know what? What are we going to do? Any new revelation doesn't serve anything. Well, I mean, we have to have our fucking Congress hold people like Pam Bondi accountable first. Do you know not all Israelis are Jews? No, that's what I'm saying, Thor, is the fact that people think that being anti Zionist is anti Semitic, and those two things are not synonymous. They're not the same thing. Zionists use as a weapon, and they don't know it. No, they do know it. That's the thing. That's the thing, Vinny. They do know it. We don't believe in land ownerships. I get that. I get that, Thor. But no, they do use it as a weapon, and they do know it because it's an ideology. Plain and simple. Guys, we're almost at 40 where I'm going to finish this one. Um but no, I love that too. Ryan, thank you. Please approve that. It's still showing me that it's hidden. I don't know why it's hiding this shit. It's ridiculous. But let me check over on Brian, it's just you and me on our YouTube stream tonight, but that's okay. Guys, we got about 3 minutes in here. We're talking about things we can't affect. It's not We're talking about things we can't affect. Is no different from CNN or Fox. Here's the thing. No, we're talking about things we can affect. We can. It's not an overnight fix because we've done things like myself. I've ignored primaries before. I haven't voted in local elections before. But these assholes all got started somewhere. And I'm not saying it's an overnight fix. I'm not calling for a violent revolution or anything of the sort. What I am saying is that micro changes cause macro causation. What I mean by that is we have to start going to our town halls. We have to start participating in our local elections because, again, those assholes started from somewhere. And we have to take our fucking primaries seriously. We have to make not only primaries, but midterms and the presidential elections coming too big to fucking rig. Vikings and indigenous are both indigenous to Scandinavia. I love that. I love that, Thor. No, they want us to think that we cannot have effect, and we can. As, ISIS tried to come into certain cities, community action has prevented them from doing such. But in all, if we don't elect politicians that properly represent us and we elect politicians that are bought and paid for by companies like APAC who make fucking YouTube ads and commercials claiming it's America first and then say that they fund in our faces, they literally said in the YouTube ad, we fund Republicans and Democrats alike to vote for pro-Israel policies. So if they're both voting for pro-Israel policies, who the fuck is voting for pro-American policies? That's right. No one. Fucking no one. Lala says we have to talk about these things. Knowledge is power. Absolutely. Because again, anti-intellectualism and the loss of critical thinking goes hand in hand with fascism. Grayson over on YouTube says, I'm mentally and emotionally done with politics as much as I am trying not to. I'm tired and I don't want to fight MAGA anymore. I don't want to do any of this anymore. I'm so tired. What I would say to you, Grayson, is you seem like you are at a point, and this is not like a diagnosis or anything, but in my opinion, when I get like this, because I have similar thoughts, I'm burnout. Sometimes it is good to turn off the phone, even if it's just for a couple hours. Turn off the TV if you want, and just be. Go see your friends. Go do something you love. If you have a passion that you haven't participated in recently, please go do that. Grayson says, I don't want to go out and vote because I've heard ICE will be at all the polls. So what's the point of trying to... Grayson, you are falling for what they are doing. What's the point in trying to go out because ICE is going to be there? Because we have a right to vote, and if we exercise it and we make it too big to fucking rig, change will happen. I'm not saying the Electoral College is perfect. Honestly, I wish it would be abolished. But we have to make the shit too big to fucking rig. They want us to feel deflated. They want us to feel burnt out. They want us to become complacent. They want us to feel like we can do absolutely fucking nothing. That is exactly what the fuck they want. Do not give them the satisfaction, because in 2026, they may try to take our rights. They may try to take our fucking freedoms, our bodily autonomy. They will not touch our fucking joy. They're not going to do it. And I take joy when I vote now because I haven't in the past. And I know what a privilege that I had. I will never make that fucking mistake again. Our joy is ours. And take a friend with you to vote. Take a friend with you. And know that even if Donald Trump, because I don't think because Senate has to choose to vote on the SAVE Act. I don't think they're going to choose to vote on it. And it's not going to get 60 votes anyways. And I think if they do that, and he really, and they choose not to, and he tries to do an executive order, no, there are laws that can be made to prevent that executive order from taking action. It is not it's not a stupid fight. It's not a fight that you're going to regret, or you're always going to wish you could have done more. So do more now. Plain and simple. And guys, we're going to wait until we're at 45,000, but thank you guys so much for the live. I'm going to save this last one, but I'll finish this at 45. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in today. Sorry it was a smaller crowd. I do feel like it was a good live. It was very informative, and I've appreciated all the new follows, the gifts, everything. You guys are absolutely incredible. And please, when you're feeling burnt out, especially on a long weekend like we have this weekend, it's okay to take a break. I know people try to guilt you, saying, oh, it's a privilege to take a break from your phone. You need to know what's going on in the politics. Guess what? Even if it's a privilege, if you are better taking a 5-hour break that will recharge you for the next 2 weeks, it's better than you operating at 5% for the next 6 months. But I do appreciate all of you. We're still waiting to get to or 45,000. Apologies. And then we'll finish out. So you guys hit those likes. I'll go over to Ground News, see if anything new has popped up. We'll talk about it real quick. But I do appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a great long weekend. Tomorrow we're going to go live around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Mountain, and obviously 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Will be on for like an hour, like always. Sunday we're not going on. I'm in a Sunday fun day. But Monday, as long as I am not deathly hungover, we're probably going to do 1 or 2 lives that day for sure. I don't see anything new happening on the site. Oh, Netanyahu's skeptical about Trump talks with Iran, but says a good deal is possible. And Indonesia readies up to 8,000 troops in first firm commitment to Gaza peacekeeping force. Oh, shit. Holy shit. Good for you, Indonesia. Good for you. And of course, 0% of the right is talking about it. But guys, we just hit 45. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to finish this, guys, with you. Indulge in whatever you want to, even if it's a drink of water. And please, this weekend and the weekend of love, even if you're single like myself, practice some self-love. Find the joy in your day. Look for 1 or 2 things throughout the day. Share them with someone. Maybe they'll start to look for 1 or 2 things. Because again, micro change, apologies, causes macro causation. Cheers, everyone. There it is. Woo! Thank you guys for hanging out for the entire live. Rins, thank you so much for the rose. I know, and I get where you're coming from in a lot of your arguments. I truthfully do. I hope you come back for more. If you haven't followed yet, please do. Lala, thank you, and welcome in. Thank you for the You're Awesome. And Rins, thank you for the rose. If you're new here, literally welcome. This is a community. I always encourage you guys to follow each other in case my page does disappear. I do have a backup. It's at Redwhiteandwtf, followed by the number 2. I think I've got like 4,700 on there. And I do have a YouTube. But I will see you guys tomorrow at 2. And I hope you guys have the best, most relaxing, love-filled, even if it's self-love, love-filled weekends of the last fucking year, because shit's crazy. So hang on to those that you love. And yes, my southern accent is sneaking out because I'm a little tipsy, but I love you guys, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good night. All right, YouTube, that's it for us as well. Grayson, have a great night. Sorry, I just saw your comment. Ryan, have a good night to you as well. I hope you guys find some love this weekend, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.